but I want to see Alperen Sengun.
You know,
Give me my
I
Sengun.
I rock with the Warriors, man. I think it's so cool that they have
Warriors
like
hater.
I mean, back in like 2016, I was LeBron all the way. You know, every time it was like, give me LeBron when the Warriors were like the super team. But the Warriors now, it's like they're this wise old team. They remind me of like Gandalf, man.
Man, fly the hell out of here. Fly them fools out of here.
Man, yeah, they're goaded. That series is also the 6 versus the 7, which is crazy.
I mean, the Warriors are going to guaranteed not have home court for any playoff series, at least.
Yeah, they won't. Well,
But yeah,
honestly,
no,
for them, it doesn't seem like it matters.
I mean, just
They
think
can
about it
snatch in
like
game
this:
one.
we got robbed of Amen Thompson guarding Ant, Gobert guarding Şengün. We got robbed of the nice guy battle between Mike Conley and Steven Adams.
Oh yeah. Shoot, yes, I forget Steven Adams is on the
Oh, yeah.
Rockets. Every
Dude,
time I
Steven
see him,
Adams was probably their best player in the series, besides maybe Amen and maybe Fred VanVleet, but VanVleet had a bad couple games.
Van Fleet
dude,
did
who
have a
was
bad couple games, but he was also. I feel like Van Fleet had some moments where he was just unstoppable in that
Yeah,
series. Like he was cooking.
yeah.
Also,
what was
was
it?
how was Dylan Brooks in that series? Because I feel like I don't know
He
how to.
was on and off.
Yeah,
He was really bad for games 6 and 7.
yeah. I don't
Was
know how to
it
feel about Dylan
game?
Brooks at this point. And I hated him when he was like, "I poke bears,"
Yeah.
but like,
Sometimes you gotta be a bear poker. What wasn't it? It was game four or something. It was like the Rockets had a chance to tie up the series. At the end of that game, Sengun took like I think it was Draymond guarding him. For some
Yeah.
reason, they drew up a ISO with Sengun and on Draymond rather than trying to get it to Fred, who was cooking that. From what I remember, he was like getting shots up that fourth quarter and getting good looks. It's like, what are
Fred's
we?
Fred's the name of the my leg guy in SpongeBob, right?
Um,
what
yeah, I
is?
think it is. I think it is when he goes, my leg,
Yeah, I don't know how that just came to mind.
my leg.
My leg.
Yo, Tav, I thought that was like Migos on your screen for a sec.
Where?
Is that Migos? No, that's not Migos.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's Stewie and the Migos watching Takeoff. They're saying goodbye to Takeoff.
Damn.
Rest in peace.
I wish this never happened.
For real. Yo, Jay. Jay's in chat. Jay says, you mentioned Frank Ntilikina yesterday. Dude was a defensive beast with no offensive game whatsoever. Wish they would have sent him to the G League, let him develop an offensive game. For real. And he would have these spurts where he would be aggressive on offense and bang like 3 threes in a row. Gabe, you remember this? When Frank Ntilikina
Yeah.
was showing flashes? Oh,
The only time that I was ever thinking like this guy's gonna be someone is the year that we made the playoffs and Frank, right before he got injured, was like 50% from three, and then he got injured and was just never in the rotation or the NBA again, basically. But that was like the only spurt where I was like, he could be something. Before that, it was just sad seeing like first he came in, everyone was like, like he could be up there with De'Aaron Fox. And then everyone was saying like maybe he's a Mike Conley kind of guy. And then everyone was like, all right, maybe he could be like Marcus Smart. Nope. Not
it was
even
none
like
of
a
them.
role player.
I was
Nope.
hoping he could be like mini Giannis, like a or a
Oh,
Dejounte
yeah.
Murray. Like,
Yeah, that would have been cool. Did you see that clip of well, it was DeJounte, but it was also just all the Spurs, like basically like helping Master Uguay Popovich at the presser.
oh no, I didn't see, was this like a clip? What was it?
Well, it was really the whole presser, but there were moments where like so you know how like Popovich like just became the president, right? Stepped down as coach.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so he had that stroke and like he's like cognitive, but he's got like a limp and like, balance issues and whatnot. And Manu Ginobili, Tim Duncan, Wemby, and DeJounte Murray were all like helping him move around and stuff. It was kind of like heartwarming, obviously bittersweet.
Yeah. That's the word I would use for it. Bittersweet. That is ugh, I had no idea that Pop was in such bad
Yeah.
condition.
No,
That
I mean,
sucks,
look,
man.
uh, when you hear the term mild or minor for a stroke, you
Hmm.
think they'll make a full recovery. So that's kind of what I assumed was like, all right, like, maybe he'll just be fine. but I didn't like that was not a minor stroke. That was a real stroke.
Yeah.
Damn.
It
Yeah,
I
reminds me
mean,
because
of
I guess a major
what was
stroke would
the-
be like fatal.
major stroke. Yeah, you're talking like either death or like can't talk, can't move.
it's bedridden, like you're on, like you can't move.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he came out of it, but like that wasn't minor though.
Yeah.
No,
Damn.
dang, that's so sad. Now you got me thinking about the Splinter meme where it's like you have Master Splinter and the four Ninja Turtles as babies, and then Master Splinter's old, and then you have the four turtles
Mhm.
walking him
They're
down. Like,
helping him. Yeah.
Yeah, Manu Ginobili posted that.
oh, he did? I didn't
Yeah,
even
he
see.
posted that right after the presser.
Wow. Dude, I miss
It was
Manu.
on his story though, so I don't think you'll see it now. But
Yeah. Man, Pop is a legend. So outside of being such a great coach, had some
Yeah.
of the best interviews out there.
Yep.
Also, just seemed like a stand-up guy.
yeah, definitely a little tough to work with if you're the media though.
Yeah. He's like if Bill Belichick is evil in interviews, Greg Popovich is like the good. he's the light side.
I'd say he's like an anti-hero. Like he's kind of an asshole, but like you can see that he cares and like he means well, and like you can't help but like him anyway.
hmm He's
That's
like
true.
he's like an intelligent,
Yeah.
compassionate. He's kind of like
Yeah.
have you seen The Boys before?
I have not. I was gonna say he's like the Deadpool of like coaches, but
Oh, that's good. I was gonna say he's like a tenth of what Butcher is in a way.
is that the
Like-
guy where there's that one famous scene where like that carnival music is playing and he realizes that like people like him?
No, that's Homelander.
Ah.
Butcher's the Irish dude with the beard.
Okay. Yeah, I can't paint the picture, but I get it.
Yeah, but hope Pop ends up okay and can live a healthy, fun rest of his life. With the Knicks, man, whew, I'm nervous. Yeah, let's see
Yep.
what the spread is.
I'm gonna say
Boston
let's say
minus 4.
6.5 or 7.5.
Mm,
I'm feeling optimistic.
yeah, let's see here. It
Might be
is.
pushed up. I'm interested now.
Oh, it's 10.5.
Oh, yo,
Maybe I
Knicks
think
money
Boston's
line
gonna
is
swing
at
back.
plus 400. You know,
damn.
Sounds like, I mean, if you're confident, it sounds like free money. I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
Y'all.
I mean, I think the Celtics are gonna come out angry, but like my thing is like part of the reason that the win the other night got me so fired up outside of just being a Knicks fan watching us win a playoff game, it's the vibe I was getting, the vibe I've been getting from the Celtics this year is they're kind of coming across as arrogant, man. Like they're never congratulating the other team. It's always we know who we are. We're going to go out and handle business. The fans, especially, I mean, fans are always going to be obnoxious. But they're like, oh, yeah, Celtics in 4, Celtics in 5. And I just don't think the hunger's there. I just don't think the hunger is there with the Celtics. So tonight's going to be pretty telling.
I think they're just tired. Honestly, that's what the vibe is for me. Like Jaylen Brown. I don't know if you saw, but someone said on the Celtics Twitter, they're like, guys, if they defend Jaylen Brown how we defend Josh Hart, we're screwed. And then they posted a clip in the fourth quarter, and they're like, they figured it out. Fuck. And that's kind of like a microcosm of their season. I think it's like a little bit of regression, just because they like you said, like they already won the championship, and now they're a little arrogant. And like even when they're fully healthy, when they were fully healthy last year, forget about it. They maybe would have had like 12 or 13 losses all year if they were fully healthy all year. But this year when they're fully healthy, because besides Porzingis, and I want a full roster because I don't want any excuses. But besides Porzingis, they've been healthy so far. And when Porzingis was there, he was missing. And you just look throughout the year, and like they've lost to the Bulls by 20 when they were fully healthy. Like they're definitely a little bit. They're not like they're mortal this year, I think.
Yeah, they definitely looked human during game 1. What's the status on Porzingis' injury?
He's got a non-COVID illness, which
Oh.
it's a little strange because it could just be the flu, but
Yeah.
also given the fact that he was out for like a month, like this year, with a non-COVID illness. Never disclosed what it was, and people just started calling it the Porzingis disease.
Huh. Interesting.
The Porzingis virus.
I think he's just scared of the Knicks. He's scared of us. Jay
He
has
torched
some.
Here, though.
What'd you say?
I said he torched us this year.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I saw some clips. I'm, wishing Porzingis a speedy recovery, but he can take the rest of the series off. I'm cool with that. Jay in the chat says the Knicks have come a long way from Pablo Prigioni. Tony Douglas. He had a typo as Money Douglas, but that's just as good. And the other mediocre point guards. For real, dude. Elfrid Payton.
Oh, and we were winning with Elfrid Payton.
Mm-hmm. Dude, Gabe, do you remember the season where all year I think Elfrid Payton was gone. It was I think it was the 2022 season. Could be wrong. Where Tibbs all year, this is when we still had Quickly and Barrett, and all year people were saying start Quickly at point guard, and all year Tibbs was starting Alec Burks at point guard. This guy just had his firstborn son, and Tibbs is like, no, you're playing point guard for the New York Knicks when you're not even a point guard, and then we were mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, and then he starts Quickly, and then we win. We go like 8-2 in our last 10 games and fuck up our pick. Pardon my French. But so yeah, we've come a long way. Go Knicks, man.
French caught you off guard.
Indeed. Pardon my French. Shout out to Frank Ntilikina.
True. The OG prodigy from France.
Indeed. But yeah, man, go Knicks. I'm hyped.
Yeah, I remember, and that team, it's crazy because obviously every trade has pretty much been a win-win, but when you look at that team who was on it and how they're doing now, Randall and DiVincenzo. Well, DiVincenzo wasn't on that team, but Randall and DiVincenzo, they're two of the top 4 or 5 players in Minnesota, and they're into the second round now, and RJ and Quickly both averaging 20 essentially. And RJ had a case for an All-Star this year, most improved possibly. Quickly, I still think he'll be an All-Star eventually. Hardenstein, just the perfect piece in Oklahoma.
He's a perfect fit there, yeah.
Perfect piece. That's a tongue twister. And it's just Derrick Rose, that was kind of just the end of it. But but in general, it really just seemed like everyone on that team, once they left. And obviously, OG got better with us. Cat, you could say he got better with us. But everyone that left just became, rising stars. Quentin Grimes, rising star in Philly. Probably somewhere else now, but it's insane.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's in Dallas now. But yeah, we did really good with our picks.
He got traded to Philly, and then he's a free agent now.
Oh, dang, he's not even on the Sixers anymore? Man.
Yeah, so, he could re-sign with them, but...
I'm surprised because the Sixers could use him, man.
Yeah, they're running it back with Embiid, Maxey, Paul George.
That's sad.
For real.
That's a little depressing.
The only guy they should keep out of them is Maxey.
Yeah, I don't think they should be keeping Embiid or... Here's the thing, though. Nobody's going to want... I feel like nobody wants Embiid. I don't think anybody wants Podcast P either.
That's why their first this year is so important to keep. If it's top 6, they keep it. If it's 7th or later, it goes to the Thunder. And if they get that pick, a lot of fans say, hey, let's not even draft a guy. Let's just use it to trade Paul George.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The value on Embiid and Paul George is so low right now. I don't think you could, I don't even know how you would make a trade with them work because there's so much money involved. But they're so bad at this point.
You know who I could see falling for Joel Embiid?
Who?
A team that happened to sign one of Philly's other superstars a few years ago.
Oh, the Clippers?
No, Miami.
Oh,
Miami.
You know what I think? You know what I think goes down, right? Because obviously Heat culture is in the dumpster right now. And Pat Riley's considering retirement. Tyler Hero and Bam, they've been there for years. They got to the finals twice. Great runs both years, but you can tell they're nowhere near that without Jimmy. Now, Bam has been talking a lot this year, recently, especially because they just got eliminated, about we need some changes. There's going to be some big changes. Well, guess what was a rumor a few years ago when the Sixers and Ben Simmons were struggling, and then that Ben Simmons Embiid dynamic was also in the gutter. People were saying Embiid could go to the Heat, join up with Jimmy, and Jimmy and Embiid saying, "Oh, we want to be teammates again." I'm just saying it can happen.
I rock with
Maybe
it.
Embiid for Bam, a few contract players and some picks.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like, I mean, obviously Jimmy's on the Warriors now. Did Jimmy and Joel Embiid get along? I feel like I heard about him. Oh, okay, they're tight. I thought that they
I
were.
thought he got better in Philly than he did in Minnesota for sure.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
no. Jimmy wanted to re-sign, but they chose Ben Simmons and Tobias, and that's why that famous Tobias Harris over me clip comes from.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
Wow.
I remember the Heat, they beat Philly a couple years ago, and then Jimmy said after that game 7, he's like, I miss Embiid, I want him as a teammate.
Huh. Oh, that dude, the locker room with Ben Simmons and Jimmy Butler in it must have been something
Oh
else.
yeah. I
Maybe
still can't
that's.
believe, because you look at Cat now, and Cat's like, all of a sudden he's like this like zesty security guard, like don't take shit from anybody kind of guy. But
Hmm.
when it was Minnesota, Jimmy kept calling him soft. It's crazy how far Cat's demeanor has come, and maybe New York did that to him. I don't know.
Oh
What's
yeah.
crazy about the demeanor with Cat though is that you still get the pictures. Like I don't know if you've seen it
Yeah.
floating around, the one where he's going out of the lamp like
Yep.
Oh yeah.
like it's
But
still
yeah, I
he's
mean,
still got that in him.
he still complains about calls too much, but the difference is like Randall complained about calls and he wouldn't get back on defense. Cat would at least complain about the calls, be like, "Oh my god," but then he'd get back on defense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's ever since Cat got to New York, he's definitely he's toughened up a bit. I saw
Yeah,
that.
his defense has gotten better lately too. I was so hard on him earlier in the year, pause, about his defense, and now he's like actually good defensively.
Mm, he's been like I don't know. I feel like yeah, like when I would watch him in Minnesota, given I only really caught Minnesota playoff games when he was on the Timberwolves. But yeah, I think he would be complaining to the refs a lot more and with the I don't know, he just generally uh yeah, he seems like he's toughened up in New York. I mean, his mom, pretty sure his mom passed away. Rest in peace to her. But yeah, like he comes from a Dominican family. He's from New York, born and raised. So that's another thing about this Knicks team, man. Like they're really, whew, they got more than just a chip to play for. There's meaning to this.
Did you see him in high school interviewing Kevin Durant?
I did actually.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
So the last good interview Kevin Durant gave
for
ever
real.
since
Oh yeah, he wasn't very friendly for me, that guy.
Kevin Durant wasn't friendly to you.
No, he's called me some choice names over the years.
Or you got to talk to Kevin Durant.
Yeah, see, he called the Knicks not cool anymore when he was in Brooklyn, and
Yeah.
I DM'd him, and I literally like this gut feeling I had. I was like, he's gonna respond to this. I got to make sure like I talk my shit. So I use a lot of expletives, and I say like your B word this, like talk about your own effing team that, and then I wake up and I see on my Instagram I see a note of Easy Money Sniper LMAO did I lie, and I was like, I can't even be surprised, and then we had like this whole conversation. He called me a biatch, I called him a biatch, and then when Kyrie got traded or requested a trade, I DM'd him and I said, "So what's next for you?" And he's like, "You what does this have to do for me? What does this have to do with me?" I'm like, "I'm just doing some journalism." He's like, "You suck at this journalism shit."
What a dick.
Yeah. So now I really hope next year I don't have to root for him on the Knicks, man. Put him in Houston, not us.
Oh yeah, he's not coming to New York, man. I doubt it. I
Yeah.
think I
get
think
him off Phoenix, man.
Ever since,
Good
oh yeah,
amount.
Phil's a Suns fan,
Good
so
amount.
he's dealing with him
He,
right
he
now.
just rots. If he just rots in Phoenix for the rest of his career, that would be hilarious. But
I
I
don't.
don't.
I don't want that. Poverty as it is,
Look,
man.
he's not a Warrior anymore because they're keeping Jimmy. And him and Draymond wouldn't want to team up again. Kevin Durant. I hate to say it, he's either a Knick or a Rocket. I think.
He's not. He's not gonna be a Knick, man. I
I
think.
really hope not. Imagine him and Mikal Bridges get traded for each other again.
Ugh, no, can't have it. Like
You know what? I'll take Mikal back. Give me back Mikal. Bring me
Yeah,
back my boys.
I'm sure you would have preferred our 5 first-round picks instead.
I'd prefer
Yeah.
any first round picks. We don't have a first round pick till I turn 30. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
30 years old the next time in the first round.
Really? Wait,
like-
what year is their next first round pick?
It's not. It's the third digit of the year is not a 2. That's a
Wow.
problem.
Oh
So you mean
my
to tell me
lord.
I'll be eligible to buy a house by the time they have their next first-round pick?
I think so.
Oh my lord.
I think it's when you turn 30, you can buy a house on your own.
I don't think there's any. Is there a rule with that? I thought that you could buy a house whenever if you had enough money.
Well, maybe it's different. I think in New York it is. I don't know about Philly.
Hmm. Let me
Um,
see. Next Suns first round pick. Oh yeah, but
Yeah, I mean, I like your owner's mentality though. Like he's got the right mindset, just bad execution.
who KD?
Matt Ishbia, I think is his name.
I gotta tell you, I kid. I think Ishiba handled the whole midseason trade so poorly. In my
I think
opinion, it was
He's like, I don't. Do you guys follow baseball too or no?
Barely.
not as much. No,
You know Steve Cohen, Mets owner.
No, but
That
I'm
I
familiar
know,
with
yeah.
the Mets. I try and follow the Mets.
Well, I will say this. I think that he is the Steve Cohen of the NBA. And I say that because Steve Cohen, like, he spends. I mean, we just got Juan Soto. We were going to get Correa. I'm not saying we'll win the World Series. I mean, I can hope, and I'm not going to assume anything. But, Ishbia will, there's a salary cap in basketball, not baseball. But if there was no salary cap in basketball, I think he would spend by far the most money out of any owner to get players.
Yeah, I mean they gave
Right
up a
now,
lot
our
to
contracts
get
suck.
KD, so I would believe that. And with the two things, the first thing with the Knicks bringing in KD and then KD as a whole, I think the Knicks front office right now believes in continuity too much to bring KD in, and I really hope I'm right about that. What do you say?
We just got Cat. We got OG a year and a half ago. We just got McHale, and we gave up Dante. Unfortunately lost Hardenstein, but we couldn't pay him as much,
Yeah.
and we gave up Randall. So I don't know. I mean Randall's
It depends on
continuity,
the playoffs
got us.
goes.
That is
Randall's
true.
continuity got us to a winning spot, but outside of that, we haven't really had much.
You know, you're right with the Randall trade. That was a break from the continuity. I think when we traded Barrett and Quickly, yeah, you're getting rid of the guys you drafted, but I think it made a whole lot of sense for the team. It was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is. I think without that trade, the ceiling was approaching, and they saw like the value Anunoby could bring. So I think that made sense.
I
But-
hated it. It went down. But now
Really?
I think it was a win-win. Yeah, I hated it, dude. Because I thought that RJ was a future all-star, and I thought Quickly was like a guarantee 6-man of the year starting point guard. Like somewhere in there.
I thought the
And then
same thing.
OG, I slept on OG's game a lot. Like I thought that he was like, a fine defender, but I didn't know he was like a top 10 defender. And
He's-
then, I thought he was like a 12 to 15 point per game guy, not like a 27 points per game when Brunson gets hurt guy.
Yeah, he's definitely gotten better since he got here. Part of the reason that I loved that trade, and I'm wearing an RJ Barrett jersey right now, actually. Shout out to RJ Barrett. But watching RJ Barrett was so frustrating because he was so inconsistent. With Quickly, yeah, I agree. He was either going to be a starting point guard or 6-man of the year for us. That was my perspective on it. Phil, I don't know if you remember this. I know our friend Diamond does. I was saying we should trade for OG Anunoby like a couple years before that as a solid 3. But yeah, I didn't know. I had no idea OG was going to become the new Kawhi Leonard. Like he
And also the fact that his deal was expiring, and we just gave him the most money in Knicks history, more than Brunson re-signed for.
Wow, I knew it was more than Brunson, but I didn't know it was the most in Knicks history. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, well, we're paying Cat 55, so he's got the most like annual money, but OG's total deal is the most.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
and
wait,
the
go
fact
on.
that he kept injured when he was getting injured, that was pissing me off too,
That's
because
true.
it was like we were mismanaging him. We should have kept him out like a week longer, but we wouldn't disclose what his injury is, and then when he came back, he would just get injured again.
Hmm.
So maybe he is the new Kawhi because they were mismanaging Kawhi everywhere he went to.
For real. With yeah, OG is goated. The with seeing Randall go a year ago, that was the trade that I hated initially.
I mean, it shocked me. Like that one shocked me more than the RJ trade did, and they both shocked me.
Mhm. The like yeah, it was just so bittersweet, because like what you were saying earlier, I mean Randall was the longest tenured Nick. He was there when we sucked. And
Yeah,
it felt like a departure from that gritty theme that we had going. And that was sort of what had me really stressed and what sort of still is a question mark. I mean, it looked like
yeah.
it worked the other night, but we're going to see what
I
happens
was
tonight.
pissed. I was pissed because of Cat's defense. Like I said, I was really hard on his defense, and they moved him power forward, and he got exposed there. And as a center, he was a good defender in college. I think he won whatever conference Kentucky's in, like defensive player of the year. But as soon as he came to the NBA, it was a huge issue for no reason. And I was worried that him coming over and losing Hardenstein, that we're losing our defensive identity because Mitch instantly slides to the bench. But
Yep.
I mean, dude, Cat's defending has gotten a lot better over the year, and it
Hmm.
really I think comes down to being Thibodeau and instilling that defense in him. Um, One thing I will say is going back to that Knicks Pistons series, I think Thibodeau is coaching for his job there.
Hmm.
Yeah, if we lose
I
that
thought the same
series,
thing.
man, Tibbs is out of there.
Yep, and
Because,
I mean, we have to win at least another game or two for Tibbs to stay around next year too, for in this series.
wait, say that one more time?
We can't go out a gentleman's sweep if Tibbs wants to stay around too. I think we got to win at least another game or two for Tibbs to stay around.
Oh, for sure. I like because I mean it just further solidifies that narrative that Tibbs is this guy that will get you to the second round or the conference finals tops. If we get to the conference finals, that's progress, and I think he stays around. But yeah, man, this series is huge for Tibbs. I mean, obviously all the players on the team, but yeah, Tibbs' job because gentleman's sweep, God no, can't allow it. The But I'm feeling good about it right now. I'm gonna look up if Porzingis is playing.
I doubt he's playing. With Tibbs, yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? Mikal Bridges and OG are also playing for their spots on this roster next year because I hate to say it because it closes our window so much. But if we don't perform well for the rest of the series, I really think because there's been rumors all year, I think Kevin Durant's a Nick next year, and I don't want him to be. I don't want to root for him, but two, I think it closes our championship window from 5 to 6 years to 1 to 2 years. And also, just I don't like see Cat's already not getting the ball enough, but Brunson, KD, and Cat that'll take the ball away from Cat way too much, and
That doesn't
his
make
defense gotten
sense.
better. His defense has gotten better, but it's not good enough to be a third scorer.
Yeah, we don't need KD on the Knicks, man. Like it's just unnecessary. We have OG at the 3. We have Hart to play the 4 or the 2. I love Josh Hart.
Too.
And if you're gonna bring somebody in, screw it, do it, but don't bring in KD. We don't need him. Here's my thing about KD. Ever since he left the Warriors, every team he's joined has gotten worse. It's so
Yeah,
bad.
It's funny that when he came to the Nets, they became from the most likable to one of the most hateable teams.
Mm-hmm.
Because that D'Lo and Dinwiddie year, I was actually rocking with them. Not like I wasn't like a fan, but like I respected them a lot that
They were
year.
exciting. They were
Yeah,
like they were actually entertaining. People
that one
wanted.
that one game they came back from like 23 in the fourth quarter against the Kings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that game was sick.
I miss me. And now it's with what it is in Phoenix is an absolute disaster class. It was go trade all your young talented players in your future, and then on top of that, the insistence to go get Bradley Beal,
Yeah.
overpay for him, and then bring him into a core, which would have been at the
Bradley
time would
Beal,
have
the
been
fall
Beal,
off.
Booker, Katie, and DeAndre Ayton, and they let them play a total of a combined 8 games, which they were 8-0 in,
Oh
and
yeah.
then traded DeAndre Ayton
Yep.
Oh my
for Yusuf
god.
Nurkic.
That's like,
And
I mean, it's the Chris Paul effect, right? He goes to a team, makes them instantly way better, and then his services are dismantled. Like the Rockets went through it too. They were, I think it was 18-1 when Chris Paul, James Harden, and Clint Capella all played together, and then they traded Chris Paul, and they traded Clint Capella and ran PJ Tucker at center. It's the Chris
yeah,
Paul effect, and we're still seeing it. Like, I mean, he's definitely got another year in him because he's already said it, but he's probably not going to be on the Spurs since they have Castle and Fox and Vassell. It wouldn't make
yeah, he's
sense for
been
him to be.
on yeah.
Yeah. Dang.
I hope Wemby has a regular career. I really hope the blood clots don't mess with him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one concern.
That would be the biggest what if story in NBA history.
For real.
It'd be
What's the
it'd be
status
the
on it
Bo
right
Jackson
now?
version of the NBA.
What'd you say?
What's the status on his blood clots right now? I mean, obviously it's the off season, but I don't really know the details on him.
So he should be back like for the start of next season, but what I'm worried about is it's the same type of blood clot that I think it's like deep vein thrombosis is what it's called
Mm-hmm.
that got Chris Bosh to get like retire.
Yeah.
And Wemby's only 20, right?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
young
Wemby's
as hell.
20.
I'm gonna look it
Like
up.
he can drop 70 next year like 2 times, maybe 3. Like
Yeah.
he's that good.
And the amount
He's
of
gonna have his
he's
quadruple
21.
doubles.
And he gets so many blocks per game too. Like we've never seen a guy come right out of the gate and average like 3.8 blocks per game or whatever it was this year. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Plus, he
and
can
by the
shoot
way,
too, which is
Yeah.
absurd.
Yeah.
Just drop
yeah,
threes at 45% clip. It's ridiculous.
Mhm.
one of my boys texted me after Wemby dropped 40 and 20 on the Knicks on Christmas, and he said, "By the way, this is the worst Wemby's going to be in 15 years." I'm like, "Oh no, you tell me he only gets better than this?"
Yeah.
Yeah, permitting he stays healthy, it's just crazy. He will be
All I'm going
around
to
for
say
a
about
while.
Wemby, all I'm going to say about Wemby is if he sticks around, NBA media just know he's a Yankees fan, and where are the Yankees located?
He's
I'm
a
a Mets
Yankees
fan.
fan.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let me to New York. Get
People
the
Let's get
get
the
the, get the
let's get
rumor
the
mill
Edmonds
fired
going.
up.
People love New
Let's get
York,
the Edmonds
man.
going.
I saw he was playing chess when he was staying in New York,
Yeah.
playing against.
Hey, that was sick.
Yeah, I liked that.
Funny too because everyone ran with like the I want to be the enemy narrative when they came to New York, but he really like didn't mind being like that folk hero, and because like you saw like whenever your rising star comes to New York, everyone's like, oh, like let's boo this guy, like Trae Young, for example, Tyrese Halliburton. Not that he's a rising star anymore, in my opinion, but like we've seen
Mhm.
this, right? Jimmy Butler was the most hated in New York, and they all embraced the villain narrative. But Wemby went out of his way to embrace the city, so I'll respect him for that.
Oh yeah, I Wemby's appreciation for New York City. It's got my gears turning here. Hmm.
Did you see what Anthony Edwards said when a fan tried to recruit him to New York?
Oh, I remember seeing this clip, but I can't remember what he said. What'd he say?
Yeah, it was funny. It was when Cat had his his video in Minnesota, and there was a Knicks fan there, and he was like, "Come to New York." And Anthony, I don't know why I call him Anthony. That's so weird. Everyone calls him Ant, but
Very
Hmm.
formal.
gonna start calling Simmons Benjamin, but he was like I'm not coming to New York. I have one bad game. Y'all gonna think I'm ass. There's like everyone has bad games. Y'all are gonna, and I think that's so true. Unfortunately, look how we do Mikal Bridges.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Look what it did to Julius Randle when he was here. I mean, oh, you could tell by the end he was just mentally tired.
We started calling him Beyblades after his first year because he would just do that same spin move into a turnover.
Yep.
Hey man, don't disrespect Beyblades like that, man. Come on, let's
Yeah.
keep the buck. Oh, dude, it was.
Yeah. Oh, also, one other thing about Julius Randle. You know, as sad as it was to see him go, I kind of hated watching him play, to be honest. It was the same. It was so predictable every time. His play style revolves around taking bad shots.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it was so annoying. So, yeah.
He had that famous fadeaway, his go-to fadeaway from 10 feet on the corner.
Yep. It's like, what? Or the contested three on the right wing that would go in like 40% of the time, and it's like, oh, fine. It went in.
Yeah.
Like,
He's got, like, not that he's anywhere close to being on Campaign's level, like, of mid, but when Randall shoots and he misses, it just looks that bad.
yeah. It's like,
And now, of course, he wants to be like Mr. Robert Ory, that kind of clutch level in the playoffs. It's funny because he was the historically worst playoff performer out of anyone that's ever averaged 20 in a season, like that bad. And guess who was number 2? RJ.
damn.
Yeah,
Yeah, watching
But
them in the playoffs
I
a
do
couple
wish-
years ago was tough.
I wish him well in the sense that we would have never turned it around without him.
Yeah.
True.
He's doing well in Minnesota this year, right? They're like,
He finally accepted the number 2 role that he never accepted with Brunson.
oh, man. What could have been Julius Randle?
You know what? Maybe we had too many lefties. Guys just knew to force everyone to the right.
Maybe. Yeah, watching Randall in the playoffs in the past was so freaking painful, dude. Like, ugh.
Yeah. Not even just the Hawks series, but the Heat one too.
Dude, which was more painful, you think? The Hawks series or the Heat series? For me, it's got to be the Hawks. Easily.
It's a tough question.
Ray
I remember feeling crappier after the Hawks, but because we were supposed to win that series, but like on paper we were supposed to beat the 8th seed too. But you look back at it, and it's just, how the hell did we even get there? We had our starting lineup was Alfred Payton, RJ, Reggie Bullock, Julius Randle, and then that year it was Nerlens Noel, and we were the 4th seed.
Nerlens Noel, the GOAT.
I mean, Derrick Rose was our 6th man, but I'm talking about the starters.
Derrick Rose was really the heart and soul of that team.
What did the rest of the East look like that year?
Derrick Rose that year was he was a top 10 MVP vote.
What?
Yeah, I was looking at it the other day. Randall was 8th and Derrick Rose was 9th.
Wow.
I guess just because of how bad the rest of our roster was.
Well, Julius Randle
That's
was really putting the
crazy.
team on his back. He
Yeah,
he was great value LeBron for us that year.
that was his best. That was his best. Probably best year of his career. I mean, he had what 24, 10, and 6. Shot 54%, 40% from 3.
Maybe it was my Knicks bias coming through. I remember he made All NBA second team, and I was thinking he should have made All NBA first team. He was a beast that year.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of understood second. Just it's kind of crazy how his career started though, right? Like 8 minutes in, broken leg out for the year.
Oh yeah, on the Lakers, right?
Yeah, that was oh no, he had the year after that. Never mind. I was going to say that was the only game he played with Kobe, but he had one more year.
Yeah. I remember I don't know, yeah, Randall's play style really took such a turn throughout his career. Because I remember watching him at Kentucky. And I just remember thinking he was going to be like one of those, I don't know, like bang down low guys, you know? Hard nosed, not a shooter. And now he's just like a point forward, which is crazy.
Did he shoot threes in college, like at all?
No.
Damn.
Yeah. But
Kind of shows where the game is headed,
for
or
real.
not headed. It's there now, but
Yeah. Like the game has changed immensely. I mean, Taj Gibson developed a 3-point shot.
if Tim Duncan stayed in the league, he would have been shooting he would have been in the 3-point contest.
Do you think Tim Duncan? Yeah, Tim Duncan could have done anything he
Yeah,
wanted,
you know
man.
what?
He was that dude.
His range he what's it called? He had like that bank shot, right? And that was no gimme. That was like 15, 18 feet away.
Yeah, that's true. I forget about the Tim Duncan
And
patented
no,
bank shot.
all those guys started with the 15, 18 footers. The Al Horfords, the Chris Bosches, Brooke Lopez, they all started with the mid range.
Hmm.
Even
Wow.
David West started stepping out to the 3.
David West, the goat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a certain other athlete that's basically like Tim Duncan to me. I don't know if you've heard of him, Jared Goff. Very
Oh.
much similar to
Mr.
very much
Fundamentals.
similar.
Not the anglerfish.
You're not the anglerfish. You know who,
No.
Who
It's
would
much more
be-
fundamental fish.
who's the Tim Duncan of deep sea creatures? If the
well.
anglerfish is LeBron.
I don't know enough
I
about
thought the anglerfish was Wemby.
No, I don't know. I think we'll have to do more research on deep sea creatures and come back to it. But all right,
Here's the real question: who's the clownfish of the NBA?
Oh, Kevin Durant.
I was gonna say, are we just talking about the clown part or both at both elements?
Both
I guess-
I mean, all elements.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is clowning on Kevin Durant. He's way more successful than I ever likely will be. But with that being said, he does implement both being a clown and fishy.
Mm-hmm. And he's a
True.
jerk.
I don't have burner accounts. That's all I'm gonna say.
Exactly,
I
man.
don't need no burners, dog.
Here we are live and in the flesh. We don't need a burner
Yeah.
account to talk.
That's gonna resurface in like 10 years if I make it as a journalist, and then Kevin Durant's gonna come to my house.
Yeah.
You offer like tea and crumpets. Like, you want to talk? You want to talk? You talk to me, all right?
Mafia Kevin Durant. All right, people, it is 5:44 p.m. The Knicks game is starting in an hour and 15 minutes. Let's talk about what we think the Knicks need to do to win the game tonight. I mean, Gabe, I'll let you kick it off. Actually, one thought was, I mean, Cat kind of underperformed, but also the Celtics missed 45 threes, and I think it was a product of our defense, but also they were just missing open looks. So, what do you think needs to be done?
It's tough, right? They're not going to miss 45 threes tonight, and I think that Cat needs to be this. Well, you know what my number one thing is? We need Cat to avoid foul trouble, and we need to put Mitch in at the right moments. Because to me, when you look at the rotation, it's a little simple. How do we avoid the hack of Mitch? Which, by the way, yeah, he was 3 of 10 from the free throw line, but he was a net positive when he was in the game. He was +8 when he was in the game. But if we're going to talk about, like, hey, that's unacceptable, then how do you avoid that? You avoid it by putting him in at the 2-minute mark of the first quarter and the 2-minute mark of the third quarter and keeping him in until the next quarter when all of a sudden they're in the bonus. That's how you play Mitch. You don't play him when they're in the bonus and there's 5 minutes left in the quarter. So that's first off with Mitch. But in order for that to happen, Cat can't be in foul trouble because he's got the most fouls in the league this year. And if he gets into foul trouble again, then we're going to see Mitch in and we're going to see that hack a Mitch strategy. So that's my key to it. It's about the center rotation. And you can talk about usage rate, all of that, which I do think have to go up. But that's the number one key for me.
Yeah, with Cat, one thing I was noticing is it's like he forgets that he's as big as he is. Like, dude, you can just stand there with your hands up, and you're gonna, like, because you're just such a big dude, you can get away with a lot of stuff just by standing there. You don't need to run in and try and make a play on the ball to try and, because that's what gets him into foul trouble. That's what I was seeing from game one.
I mean, I think the fouls that he was committing on Jaylen Brown, I think they were a little like wishy-washy. I don't think they were like really egregious, especially for playoff basketball, especially coming off of the Pistons series.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a mix of both. Like the reffing was very suspect, but it's still on us to avoid even having them decide.
Yeah. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Also, I'm hoping that we can. I mean, this is obvious, but I would love for Mikal Bridges to play like he did in the final 5 minutes all game. Oh my
Yeah,
lord.
he gets better as the game goes on. Most of the games,
Yeah. Dude
either
was.
that or he starts off with 26 in the first half and finishes with 30.
Yeah. Dude, he in the final 5 minutes of last game, we all saw it. That handful of defensive clutch plays, oh my god. That got me more fired up than any old stop, any make. That play where it wasn't where he ripped the ball out of Jaylen Brown's hands. But by the way, I remember Brian Windhorst, I mentioned this on the podcast yesterday. Brian Windhorst on his podcast was saying in the beginning of the season, oh, Jaylen Brown must have been in the weight room when during the Olympics when he got snubbed. He looks stronger. He looks faster. Mikal Bridges used that grown man strength, took it right out of his hand, man. Let's go. And
Yeah, all arms, no chest.
mm-hmm. And but the play that really had me like, okay, we got something going on here in OT was when Bridges either he like swiped the ball from somebody or maybe he was just getting a pass that was missed, and he like
You know what you're talking about,
his
yeah.
body control when he was falling out of bounds to grab the ball, turn around, and make an accurate pass to, I think it was Josh Hart on the outlet, and we ended up running the break, and we got 2 or 3 out of it. No, I think that led to the OG Anunoby slam.
Yep.
Ooh, what a sequence, man.
Yeah. See, I never want to bring it up because every time I do, I feel like I'm jinxing it. But how is he so durable? I don't get it. Like, what has he done that's like broken this like system of logic where like you play this many games, you go for all, like he's a hustle guy too, right? He's not just like a corner three, like lazy defense. He gives it his all, and you'd think that a guy like that would get injured, right?
Yeah, especially somebody who's kind of skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it, man.
Defensive Player of the Year finalist a few years ago. Those guys get injured.
Mm-hmm. That's
Again,
craziness.
I'm not trying to jinx it, but like that's, I mean, if you look at any player's skill in the league, you could argue that Bridges' durability is among like the Steph threes, like the like the Dyson Daniels steals, like the Wemby blocks. You could argue that Bridges' durability is that level elite.
Yeah, it's all time. I mean, he hasn't missed a game since when? Like 3 years ago?
Since before Nova.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, he's played like 600, 700 straight games.
Yeah, that's unheard of,
And
man.
genes, man.
Not even Kobe or LeBron do stuff
It's
like
the
that.
genetics, dude. Some people just have it. Some people
Mhm.
don't.
Sometimes some people are just bounce right back up. Durable. I'm
Yeah,
gonna-
I think he's like 400 games away from most of all time. So he's still got a long way to go if he wants to be the Cal Ripken, but that's
Mm.
that's hopefully he's a Knick when that happens. That would be cool.
I would love that, man. I have a feeling he's here to stay.
Oh,
With-
I hope, because if he's not here, then a certain easy money sniper is. So
God no. We aren't gonna allow it. I will talk
Hey, well,
to
you
James
guys want
Dolan
Bradley?
myself.
You guys want Bradley too? I mean, we can throw
No.
in Bradley for you for free.
Bradley
Like, you know,
Beal's fall
It's
off
like a bag of chips.
was insane. I can't believe
fact that
Bradley
he-
Beal fell off that hard.
he mocked being compared to Drew Holiday. That's a good comparison. That's who
Yeah.
you want to be as the third option.
I would rather have Drew Holiday than Bradley Beal today.
I don't know about right now. I mean, Drew Holiday, yes, he
His
did lead.
current contract, I would. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. No, but Drew Holiday's contract is massive too. I mean, obviously he has like the championship pedigree, but if you're talking about pure contract, I don't know. Maybe I would rather have Holiday because he doesn't have that no trade clause though.
Yeah, because Bradley can't. Bradley's contract is
Mm.
bad. He's bad, and he can't be moved.
He's got a no trade clause. That is
He's
insanely
the only player in the
bad.
league. The only player in the league, unless Giannis just got one. I might have heard he did, but he's the only player in the league that has one.
I don't understand the merit of a no trade clause either. Because, well, I guess like, yeah, it gives power to the player. So yeah, never mind. Because I forgot that the player has the decision of whether they want to go to the proposed trade. But
Melo had one. Melo had one when he was on the
mhm,
Knicks,
yeah, yeah,
and
and
we when we traded him, we got Ennis Cantor and Doug McDermott. So I think it gives a lot of power.
yeah, yeah. The no trade clause is just like, I think it should be reserved for those like top three players of the NBA, and Bradley Beal isn't that. I don't know
Ooh.
what.
Just got an idea.
Yeah,
I just
what?
got an idea. Now, Adam Silver, if you take this from me, I want 10% of all profit. But if a player makes the All NBA team, they're eligible for a no trade clause. That's the only players that are eligible. What about that?
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
Makes sense.
There's the Supermax talk, but also the no trade clause.
Mm-hmm. Also, the NBA with the second apron and everything, I don't really know how it actually works. I don't know the nitty gritty, but I feel like it's preventing teams from it's preventing dynasties from existing. Like, I mean, I guess in the NBA it might be a little different than in the NFL, because like, I don't know, the NFL is such a team game, and the NBA is more star driven. But and I mean, if we didn't have these rules preventing dynasties, maybe the Celtics would be even better than they already are. But I don't know. I feel like you need an enemy, and these new salary cap rules kind of prevent that, enemy team from existing.
I mean, people are going to hate the Thunder for a long time. They're lovable right now, but if they're going to keep being good, they're going to get better, and people are going to hate them. And the fact that like even this year they might still get the 76ers pick is insane.
Damn, they have the
Yeah.
Sixers
Well,
pick
with
this
enemy
year.
rules, I mean, in a way, bird rights are kind of the enemy rule, right? You keep your guys, like it gives them incentives to stay on your team.
Hmm.
So like if you're talking like a homegrown team, it gives more incentive for that kind of dynasty for like a long-term one.
Yeah, I feel like,
I think there's
like,
going to be a villain though. There's always going to be someone to root against. I feel like that's always a thing that exists. Like it happened in NFL. People hated the Patriots, and then it just transitioned to being the Chiefs. And I still think they're like hateable
I used to
teams.
like
I would
the
still
Chiefs.
argue. I would just still argue Boston is debatably a hateable team.
yeah, but
Like I think it is.
Boston definitely is a hateable team right now. But like when we look at, like, what I'm saying, like the dynasty in the NBA is starting to phase out, and as much as we hate the hateable team, you kind of need that guy to be there to hate him, so you have something to root against and root for. But like, let's look at this. The Nuggets a couple years ago won one, and it was like, oh, okay, damn, they might be like those guys. They might be the best, and they lost a couple role players, I guess, and I don't really know the logistics of it. Maybe it has nothing to do with the salary cap, but the like, yeah, like, I don't know, the Nuggets, the Bucks, the Suns. I mean, the Suns, they kind of did it to themselves. I think through like more
We didn't
apparent.
even win a championship. What dynasty were we gonna build, dog?
I mean, the
Respectfully,
Suns.
we're
It
gonna
was
win a
like,
chip and
it
be
was ever
done.
since the bubble. It was like you guys were on the up and up and up and up and up, and then blah. And
I
like,
love how you guys got invited to the bubble and you went undefeated and still missed the playoffs. Like, what was the point
Oh
of
yeah,
even bringing you guys?
we were fun. Book had his little shot where he like laid back, you know.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
Wait, no, TJ Warren was on the Pacers. I was gonna say at least TJ Warren got all bubble team, but
Yeah, TJ Warren he dropped a 50 burger.
imagine that would be so funny if like down the line people are talking about like best like point guard debates or something like Damian Lillard or Russell Westbrook. They're like, oh well, Dame was all bubble first team.
yeah.
Dude, that's the difference. That's the difference in who's better. All right, come on, it counts.
That bubble first team was so funny. It was like I forget off the top of my head, but I know Dame was in it, and then it was like LeBron, Giannis, like I don't know, Bam Adebayo, and then it was just like TJ Warren.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's the
Warren.
GOAT.
Yeah, he was a dog in the bubble, man.
Dropped 50 against the Sixers.
Mm-hmm. Dude, TJ Warren was crazy with it. Is he even
And
on a
Jimmy
team now? I don't. I think he's a free agent.
Dude, we did him so dirty. He was on the Westchester Knicks team all year. He averaged like 26 on the Westchester Knicks, and then we signed PJ Tucker over him, and he went berserk on us on social media, and we waived him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I don't blame him. Bro was averaging 26, and PJ, you know he's not going to play.
Yeah, PJ Tucker is just a. Ugh. Yeah, we should have brought TJ Warren in, man. Guy's
Yeah, I was saying it all
getter.
year. You know who else I thought would have been good? Keita Bates Diop, who we signed and then just gave up to the Timberwolves.
Yeah, I remember hearing about him earlier this year.
3-and-D guy, and I wanted to get I wanted to get a 3-and-D guy via like buyouts too, but then Torrey Craig of course went to the Celtics. He was my guy. I wanted Torrey Craig bad.
Torrey Craig, is he? So wait, so is he on the Celtics right now?
Yeah, he's just out of their rotation.
Yeah. Where was he before? Was he on the Nuggets, the Magic?
He was on the Bulls, I think.
Okay. That guy's like a 3-and-D guy, right? What does he do?
Yeah, and that's what I thought we were missing. You know, we have 2.5 great 3-and-D guys on the starting 5, but like we were missing one 3-and-D guy on the bench. We don't have one.
That's true. We don't have much of a bench at all. You could say Cam Payne is a 3-and-D guy, but like barely.
What defense though? And
I think
the
he's a
three
solid
is
defender.
maybe Miles McBride is 3-and-D, but I just feel like he's too crafty on offense to be limited to just the 3. Although he kind of does it though, right? Like
Miles
especially
McBride is, I guess, yeah. We'll say Miles McBride is that 3-and-D guy, but I think he's evolved past that
difference is-
3-and-D guy title.
I don't think he's lengthy enough though for like the 3-and-D wing guy that we're missing.
Definitely, yeah. We definitely need him
I mean,
on the
obviously,
wing.
we play our starters enough that like they rotate. Like if Mikhail's out, OG's still in, Josh Hart's still in, etc. But like it would have been nice to have that luxury if someone's in foul trouble and then another guy needs a rest or someone's injured, like Torrey Craig is there. That would have been the perfect signing. But it's all right. It's all right. Hopefully Torrey Craig isn't the difference.
Yeah, I doubt he will be. And besides, I feel like this Knicks team is built to beat the Celtics, man. And I've been saying this, and Phil thinks I'm
it's
crazy
funny.
for it.
That's the whole strategy, right? We literally built the offseason, or we built this team rather to match up with the Celtics, and then we got smoked by them all year. And you know, it wouldn't be the first time a team got swept by a team and then beat them in the playoffs, but the definition of insanity is wishing for the same thing and it never happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it was by definition insane to say the Knicks would win this series, but insanity might prevail. Who knows?
Indeed, crazier things have happened.
If Indiana can go up 2-0 on
Yeah.
Cleveland, I'll believe anything.
I mean, to be fair, that game too, Cleveland, they were out 2.5 stars. It depends, DeAndre Hunter's not really a star, but like Mobley, they were out Mobley and Garland.
That is true, but I mean,
They'd have dropped 48 and they still lost.
so that ending,
Yeah.
and specifically,
Oh my
I'm
God.
talking about, it was like at 30 seconds, Max Strus is trying to inbound, and I'm going to
Yeah,
say
that
this
was-
about whenever you inbound a pass, if the angle is higher than 45 degrees, you should not be inbounding that pass. Like, you should not be passing that ball. It should
That was
be
one of the
lower.
worst. That was one of the worst calculated passes I've ever seen. Like you see
This is
mishaps where a
awful.
guy he's about to pass and then he changes his mind and the ball just slips from his hand, or you see those passes where a guy chucks it and it misses everything. But that was a calculated pass and it went right to Halliburton.
Mm. But it looked like it's like it's like a bad shot in Angry Birds. Like, dude just missed every single pig. He missed the wood. He missed the whole structure. It was just, ugh. Catapult would have done better. You should have used the slingshot and you would have been fine. But no, you used Max Strus's hands.
Did they have a timeout? I want to say they had one, but I could be wrong.
I know they didn't at the very end because they would have called it and tried to after helping shot, but they didn't have one. So.
I don't think they had a timeout. But yeah, the end of that Pacers game was just insane, man. That I saw this stat and it was teams that are down by 7 or more in the history of the NBA. Teams that are down by 7 or more with less than a minute left are
in the playoffs. Yeah.
Oh, in the playoffs. Okay. Yeah, they're 3 in 1,640.
And now they're 5 and whatever because the Pacers did it twice in a week.
I'm pretty sure the Pacers are 2 of those 3 wins.
They are. They're 2 now because they did it against the Bucks too.
Is the total at 5 or is it at 3?
Well, I don't know if it's. Were you saying is the 3 now or was the 3 like before the playoffs, like leading up to that?
I'm gonna assume that it is in the playoffs, because that's just 1,643 games.
Yeah.
There's way more that have been decided by more than 7 points.
Yeah. I mean, there's only one team that choked a 9-point lead with 25 seconds left, and that was the New York Knicks against the Mavericks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember. That was the Luka 60-20-10 game.
Yep. Evil, but I love me some Luka Doncic. Philip White doesn't like Luka Doncic.
I hate Luka Doncic.
I said in my group chat that game. I said a couple hours before Luka's gonna drop 60 tonight, and then he did.
Oh,
I called the
Lord.
Luka 60 bomb.
Dude,
Also,
I got a story.
What's wrong with Luka?
Yeah, that's what the story's gonna be. So you're familiar with the Suns Mavs Game 7 of Chris Paul hits a 3 to cut the lead to 42. That game sucked because I was so hyped for that Game 7, the beef between him and Book, and for that game to be over after basically 10 minutes of play was just so disheartening to me. The worst part, I don't know if you can see it on my camera, but there's a Devin Booker poster in the background. I woke up the next morning after that game, it had fallen off the wall.
Everybody tough when they're up.
It fell off. It fell off, dude. It was I don't know what it was. Some basketball god deemed that I had to suffer there, but you know what? Whatever, man.
Yeah.
You know who else is in Cancun with Devin Booker now? Luka and Dallas, both in Cancun with us. We're the same.
Also, Luka and Devin Booker like each other now.
Oh, they're friends now?
Yeah, they're cordial. Luka said congrats on being a dad or something when Booker had his Like they don't
I'll carry the hate. It's okay. I'll do it for us.
It's like how Reggie Miller and Spike Lee are cool now, but we never agree with that.
Spike Lee can't be cool with Reggie Miller, man.
Dude, they are. They dap each other up whenever they see each other.
That's like oil and water getting along, man.
Yeah. It's like that Atlantic Pacific Ocean line, but it finally collapsed.
For real, dude. Spike Lee and Reggie Miller. I really do not like Reggie Miller. I wasn't even alive to experience him doing the whatever and beating the Knicks and all that horribleness. But his play-by-play, he's always ripping on the Knicks. There were some awful calls in Game 1. And there was like some foul on Cat that was like so not a foul. And he was like, oh, that's a great call. Like,
you know who I really think that Stan Van Gundy is the worst commentator. I used to not mind him, but he's just grown so horrid at what he does.
Jeff Van Gundy used to annoy me a little bit more.
Jeff Van Gundy annoyed me. I thought he was very overrated because people put him on this pedestal of like the Mike Breens and the like Kevin Harlans, and I just never saw anything close to that. But with Stan Van Gundy, I mean, people consider him like mid, but he's really probably the worst commentator.
Yeah, he's not good.
And I really hope that, like, with the new commentating next year on NBC, ESPN, Amazon, all that he is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I remember last year when I was watching the playoffs, Stan Van Gundy was commentating a lot of games, and yeah, he would keep doing this thing that would annoy me so much. He kept saying something like, "Oh, see what I would have done here is this," and it's like, dude, how about you coach a team then?
He was doing that with Steve Kerr yesterday. Steve effing Kerr. Like, buddy, you got fired by the Pelicans. Steve Kerr is like the Greg Popovich of this era.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And
it's like oh my god, I don't know.
You guys with calls too.
You guys follow the NFL or?
Oh yeah.
It's like Adam Gase like saying to Bill Belichick, "Here's what I would have done."
Yeah.
Here's what you need to do.
With like a little more like eye power. Like he would have been like, Here's what I would have done.
Yeah, he just got the.
Yep.
The bug
You know, this is what I think. I
Oh,
think we should
someone
have done it
clipped
this
that.
way.
But yeah,
Oh my
Stan Van
gosh.
Gundy sucks. He does the same thing with the refs too, man. He'll be like,
see,
"Oh, this was a call, this was a foul, but I don't think this was." It's like, man,
Wait, hold up. Today's is TNT covering this game?
I think so.
You know, we might get MVP tonight.
What's MVP? What do you mean?
Like we might get the award.
MVP announced.
Oh, who do y'all think is gonna be?
Shea.
It's gonna be SGA.
Yeah,
I think it should
You know
be.
what's funny though? I wouldn't doubt it if Jokic somehow upsets the Thunder.
Yeah.
Dude,
Because
the way
the
he is coaching is crazy right now.
Yeah. The game's at 7:00. If the MVP is announced, it'll be announced at like 6:35.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
MVP at
that's
6:35.
If that's the case, if we're still on, I'll probably have to go just because I definitely would have to post that.
Yeah. I actually,
I'll give you a little Woj bomb if it happens.
awesome. Yeah. I'll
Sick.
I've gotta meet up with some people for the game. But well, how about we run till like it's 6:08. We'll run till 6:15 and do a final rundown of what we think needs to happen for the Knicks to win, what we think is going to happen. And yeah, Phil, I'll let you kick it off.
Oh, what you think? Listen. I just think, in order for the Knicks to win, they kind of need to do basically what they did last night. The problem that I'm seeing, and especially this happened in Detroit, and this happened with New York in Game 1. I understand it's happened a lot in series where 20-point leads don't really feel like a thing anymore. 20-point leads are like if that you can't disintegrate that lead without some poor play from your opponent. I don't think they can go into Boston in Game 2 and expect them to be 25% from beyond the arc. I just think they're going to be shooting better. They're going to hit more of their looks. And I agree with Gabe. The ability to be able to put in Mitchell Robinson at the right moment. Because when Cat gets into, if you're going to put, you'd much rather have Cat at the line than you would to have Mitch. And it just makes it a lot easier if Cat's not sitting there with 4 or 5 fouls.
Yeah,
And
I
you
mean,
feel a lot
Mitch,
more confident being able to do that.
Mitch just I hate to say this, but he's not clutch in that aspect, right? Like if you're gonna foul a guy, like that's why hack of Steven Adams didn't really work because Steven Adams is clutch when it comes to like needing to make the free throws because he's been to the playoffs so many times. Mitch has either been injured for the playoffs or not been in the playoffs, and his free throw, man, that thing is lower than the stock market 3 weeks into Trump's presidency. Like it's really bad, and I don't think he'll ever fix it. So I agree.
Yeah, Mitch's free throw percentage is brutal. My one thing with Mitchell Robinson is, when he first came into the league, it was like, oh my God, we might have a star on our hands. But he's just been the same guy ever since he came into the league, pretty much. And yeah, I don't know. Mitchell Robinson just is who he is. Definitely if he can just hit those free throws, man. But yeah, Hack-a-Mitch is gonna be Hack-a-Mitch, and he's probably not gonna hit as many of his free throws as we would like. Go something like 3 for 10 again. But yeah, with the Knicks subbing in Mitch at the right time, Cat gotta do this. I mean, I'm sure he knows he's a freaking NBA player, but like, just arms up. You don't need to make a play on the ball while they're in their shooting motion. Just do this. Just do this, man.
I mean,
maybe jump a little when you're protecting the rim. That way he can stay
That's
out of
what
foul
Brown-
trouble.
Yeah.
Listen.
That's what Jaylen Brown and Jimmy Butler do very similarly. They'll run into your chest and then fall backwards, and that's how they get a lot of foul calls because it'll be a blocking foul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You just can't be in their path to the rim, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, man. Redonk. But I believe that in order for the keys to victory for the Knicks tonight, outside of what I just mentioned, I mean, Cat we're going to need more than 10 points from Cat tonight. We're going to need more than like 20.
25.
25.
I'm saying 20.
Yeah, I'd be
30,
looking for at
35.
least 20.
And Brunson, he's got to do his thing. He's probably going to do his thing. And I mean, just I think one thing we witnessed during Game 1 was the effectiveness, the JT and JB stoppers, Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby, just defense, 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 and Cat's got to show up on the offensive side. Like, let's go.
Here's one more key, and I've noticed this. I've watched a lot of Celtics games because here's my thing: when I see odds on, because I use FanDuel, so when I use odds on FanDuel and it shows a team's money line as plus 500 or greater, I bet them every single time because I don't think there should ever be a game where a team is plus 500. I think that's absurd. So when that happens, I bet on that team, and I've bet on a lot of Celtics Hornets, Celtics Wizards type games. So when I was watching those games, you know how the Celtics pull away? They get Derek White going. And Derek White, when he's on fire, he's a top 10 three-point shooter in the league easily. And we cannot let him get started. Because once he gets started, they're going to go up 20 in the second quarter again.
Yeah, once Derek White gets going, that guy turns into Steph Curry light.
Yep. And he gets to his spot every time.
Yeah, Derek White, it's kind of crazy. When they brought Derek White in, that guy was a bit of a role player, right? Sixth man sort of guy. And he
went
just
and started balling.
Yeah, man, he evolved and turned into a whole new guy in Boston. Jay in chat says, Knicks got to stay hot. OG got to stay hot. Cat needs to produce. Stay out of foul trouble. Hart and Bridges need to continue the hustle play. Brunson needs to be Brunson. Defense needs to be there. And when called on, the bench needs to produce. Yeah. Cat, do this. Give us more than 20 points. Bridges and Anunoby. Stay on JT and JB like white on rice. And Derek White, miss your shots. Break.
That's the keys to the game.
Yeah.
We need a little bit of help from Derek White on that one because great defense will still make those shots. So
for real, man.
Well, he's the player I fear the most on the Celtics. I'll tell you.
Yeah, Derek White is a scary man from beyond the arc. All right, so before we go, let's it's 6:14. Let's say who our heart is telling us is going to win and who our brain is telling us is going to win. Phil, you go first.
I have Boston either way in game 2. I don't think Boston allows them to drop 0 for 2. Not when I know they'll be missing Porzingis for this matchup, but I don't think they allow themselves to go down 2 at their own place. Especially, listen, Cleveland is one thing. For the defending champs to do that, I don't think they allow it to happen. I think they even up the series. They win by 5.
Knicks cover the spread. Okay. Dave, who you got?
Yeah, so I actually, if I'm going by my brain, I have an exact score for you.
Okay.
It's 119 to 107 Boston.
119 to 107 Boston.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but in my heart, I know we can do this, and in my Josh Hart, I think that we can beat them and go up 2-0. But
hell yeah,
I mean, like we can, like there's no doubt we can,
yeah.
right? Like we've proven we can beat them. Like that was a question mark: is can we even beat them? And we've proven we can. So, I'm saying 119 to 107 Boston. But even if we are tied 1-1 going back to MSG, I still like our chances going forward.
Same.
It doesn't mean I'm like gonna say like, oh, haha, Knicks in 6. I'm just saying I think we have a shot.
Same. I'm right there with you. I mean, yeah, my brain is telling me, come on, defending champs down 1-0 on their home turf. Ugh, yeah, they're probably going to win that game. But my heart, I know we've got heart. I know those Celtics are a little arrogant. The Knicks are hungry. I mean, my brain's telling me Celtics by 9. My heart is telling me Knicks by 5.
Hey, you know what else too is 20% of Boston's ticket sales were in the New York, New Jersey area.
See, Phil was saying.
So 1 in 5.
Phil was saying all this stuff about MSG isn't a legit home court advantage, whatever.
I don't think it is, man. I don't.
It's not
as crazy this year. It's not as crazy this year.
But we travel with the best of them. Nobody travels better than the New York Knicks, man. You saw us take over Wells Fargo a year ago.
Yeah, I said this to some of my friends in my fraternity, and it's kind of got some truth to it, right? Because of the playoff tickets at MSG skyrocketing. We lost MSG 1, but in the process we gained MSG 2, 3, 4, and 5, and the Sixers, the Wizards, the Heat, whoever you want to say. Like, we have home court advantage elsewhere, but we just don't necessarily have the craziest home court advantage because it's all just entitled pricks. But I mean, let's hope those entitled pricks show up. And Taff, we don't want to lose you to them in Game 3.
Yeah, I'll be screaming my head off at Game 3.
Good.
I'm at like the front of the nosebleeds, center court too.
Ooh, okay.
Man.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna be screaming my head off at Game 3. I'm bringing my microphones through and gonna interview some fans.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. It's gonna be
That'll be
crazy.
sick. I'll tell you what, man. Listen, NBA, I'll give the Knicks the best traveling fans. But you want to talk the NFL?
Yeah.
Pittsburgh travels like nobody's business. Half those stadiums belong to us, man.
You're
You go
a
to
Steelers Suns fan? How the hell is that possible?
I'm an anomaly.
What's your baseball team?
If I had to pick one, probably Yankees.
What
But-
the hell?
Yeah, right? He rips on the Knicks all the time and he's like, oh, probably the Yankees.
Yankees,
This guy was
Steelers-
born
I've been
in
to a
New York
Yankees
City.
game, bro. I watched the Yankees when I was like
Yeah, you've
5,
been
6
to a
years old.
Knicks
The first
game,
baseball
too.
game I went to.
No, I'm not bashing
Yeah, but
you.
I was also Suns fan.
I'm not bashing you for the Yankees. I'm bashing you for the trio of teams.
Okay, so Steelers is my dad. My dad's a Steelers
Okay.
fan. Suns was I didn't have a basketball team. I was just gonna pick the team in Pittsburgh. There wasn't one, and then I was like, But at the time, like when I was picking my team, I didn't understand geography. Like, I didn't know where stuff was. So I saw the two P teams. I went Phoenix, Philly, and I got a jersey from each. I got a Booker and I got a Simmons jersey, and I was like, I don't like this. I didn't like the Sixers. I don't know what it was.
Basically, like whoever dated Kendall Jenner the most recent.
Yeah, so I picked Book.
Fair.
Yeah.
I picked Book, and I stand by my choice despite what is happening right now.
You also had a Ben Simmons jersey at one point, which was crazy.
It's still in my closet somewhere. It's
I
still
mean,
in there.
If you picked Philly, you probably would have been in equally as much pain.
Yeah.
But I mean, we I mean, hey,
Hey.
left because I made it to finals.
At least in that
true.
scenario, though, you'd be able to get $5 tickets to home games.
Exactly. I could get like they have like really they're similar to the in the sense they have really cheap like courtside food.
Yeah. I'm really hoping that the Sixers have a bad year next year. They rest everyone, and then the tickets go down to $5 again. Because I'd love to just make next year home games, copping $10 tickets, and then just making a bunch of parlays and going and just like watching my parlays for basically free in person.
I love it. I
I'm
love
with
it.
that.
All right,
Daryl
I gotta call my mom soon. So I don't know if we
yeah.
were gonna keep going, but I did make a promise that I would call me mother.
That is okay. We got 40 minutes till the game starts. I gotta mosey on over to the homie's place and catch the game. But go Knicks!
Go Knicks!
Clear eyes, full heart, can't lose.
Ow!
I believe that we will
Go
win.
Knicks!
I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. All right. Have a fantastic night, everybody. Gabe, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks
Of course.
for tuning in.
Follow NBA rumors and news.
Oh yeah, NBA rumors and news on Instagram. That's Gabe's page. Go check it out. So, and he's also gonna post who's getting the MVP. So if you're not
Possibly
watching,
in 10 minutes.
possibly in
Possibly
10 minutes.
in-
So